Okay, thank you everybody for downloading and listening or watching a Global from Asia podcast. This is a guest and friend of mine for many, many years, a fellow podcaster and friend, and also in Shenzhen, Ali Mona. Thank you, Ali, for joining us today.
Mike, thank you so much for having me. It's a real privilege to be on the show. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I know. We've been on. I've been on your show. You've been on one of my other podcasts, and but it's great to have you on the Global from Asia show. It's really awesome. So, do you want to just give people a little quick intro of what you do and yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm American by passport, but I've lived in China for almost 16 years, if you can believe it.
Amazing.
I have a hard time believing it sometimes. I know. I'm married to a wonderful man, Ron, and we have 4 little girls, and they range from age 4 to almost age 10, which I also cannot believe that I have an almost 10-year-old. We spent actually the majority of our time in Shanghai, and then 2 years ago we moved down to Shenzhen. We just missed each other, right? Because you had left and I had come.
Exactly.
But that's the beauty of global business, right? Is that we get to stay connected.
Yep.
Myself, I'm a bit of a health junkie. Honestly, I was kind of forced into it after spending a couple years of my life just really sick and not understanding why or what was going on, and then not really receiving the holistic health support that I felt like I needed from a traditional medical community. So now I spend my time teaching and sharing the power of essential oils and natural living, and also teaching how these plant extracts can naturally support holistic health and well-being. And then as an added side benefit of that is I also spend a great amount of time of my work day kind of mentoring and training fellow wellness entrepreneurs so that they too can get their own business off the ground and begin to lay the foundation for that residual income that in our profession, we're all looking for. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that.
That leads right into what our topic today. We were chatting before about the topic, so I think there's the stigma of, essentially the business model is MLM, right? MLM almost sounds like a bad word in today's world, right? Multi-level marketing, or in a way, the keyword is, maybe some listeners or people watching today are like already like, I think you must get some eye rolls sometimes, like, oh, MLM, like I'm sure you must hear that when you talk to people about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're not alone in this. I was the biggest skeptic at first. I went to business school, Mike, and I'll tell you, it was never discussed as a viable business option. And I was actually introduced to network marketing in 2012. And it was right after the birth of my second daughter. And I had developed some real gut issues. And a friend sent me a product to help heal the gut. And man, it worked like none other. And then, so I just was like, how do I get more of this? And, she said something along the lines of, okay, you just set up your own wholesale account and I'll help teach you how to use the products. And at first I was like, that's awesome. Because the last time, I bought something at, let's say, GNC, no one walked me through the product or gave me any support. So I was actually really, really thrilled, really excited about this. But then somewhere along the process, it dawned on me that this was one of those scammy businesses, right? And I just could not reconcile the positive experiences that I was having with the pyramid scheme perception that I had somehow picked up in my journey along the way. So it was at that time that I was actually forced kind of to put my, I would say, uninformed ideas, my misconceptions or preconceptions, and really take a good long look at the opportunity for what it was. Now, most people think of network marketing or multi-level marketing as having like a garage full of unbought water filters or shampoo bottles, right? Or maybe it's that they need to like hit up every family member or every friend and be super pushy. People say to me all the time, I don't want to be a pushy salesperson, right? Or maybe people think like, okay, the person at the top gets all the money and it's kind of a get in early and win sort of game. And maybe, right? Maybe for some network marketing companies, they do have an unfair advantage built into the compensation plan. Or maybe there are like really high sales quotas that seem impossible for just the average person who wants to engage and make a little income on the side. But that is not all network marketing companies. And just like any business opportunity, you need to know what you're looking for so you aren't left disappointed in the end.
Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. You know, I think there's scams or bad people in every business model or industry, you know, like I was chatting to you, well, we had a call recently, and you know, even some people that have been on this show have gotten these complaints that they sold courses or they sold programs that were not satisfactory to a lot of people. And you know, then there's the scam keyword, and you know, so it can happen in any industry. So it's really but you know, I could share some of my I got into MLM when I was in college, and I don't know if I told you, but yeah, like I was, somehow they came into the college dorm, not dorm, in one of the lecture halls, and people could just go in and listen. And it was for selling dial-up internet, or, you know, faster internet. It was like, back then it was still people connecting to the internet, like a little bit more.
Mike, are we that old?
Yeah, we're so old. And they had a faster way, and then a cheaper way, and then you could also make you know, money. And I went to the hotel seminar, and you know, you had to pay $400 to start your business. So it was like a $400 fee.
Okay.
To do this business, to show that you're serious. And then you know, I think the warning sign is if they make more money just getting more sell agents rather than selling the actual product, because I feel like the product was not really working so well. Like, I actually tried to sell it to some people, but the more people were trying to get me to get more agents or resellers rather than selling the actual product or service that it was attached to. So I think
Yep.
I think that's a warning sign, right? Like, if you're trying to just get more people in, what's it called, like lines, or there's I forget.
Yeah, more distributors and customers. Absolutely. We'll talk about that. I think one of the questions that we want to go through is what to look for. And I think that's a really good point. So yeah, you started off with a little bit of a bad taste in your mouth too. And that's a good point too, to trust your gut. If it sounds to be true, it probably is. And if something just isn't sitting right, then it probably isn't the right opportunity for you.
Agreed. So yeah, let's stay back on track. I don't get too off topic of my previous stories.
I love it.
But so why would, I guess this is a good point, right? It's why would a company use network marketing model? You know, some people say, well, they must not be legitimate, or maybe why wouldn't they just sell? And you said GNC, or why wouldn't they just sell in traditional? I guess I'm sorry to say traditional or norm. I don't want other distribution models. Why choose network marketing?
I love it. Why choose network marketing? No, it's so good. It's such a great question. And it's something that I love talking about, because this was a big aha for me. And now that I've experienced it both from the skeptical end and the, you know, all in end, I love talking about this. You know, good network marketing companies, Mike, they have a unique product that can't be bought anywhere else. Like, just like my friend giving me that gut stuff, I couldn't go to GNC and get that. I had to buy it as a wholesale consumer from this company. They also often have a story that needs to be told, or training and customer support that needs to happen in order for the customer to have really, really good experience. So I'll take my company, for instance. We're the purest essential oil company on the market. Okay. So if you put one of our peppermint essential oil bottles, let's say in Whole Foods, okay, next to a commercial brand of peppermint essential oil, how does the consumer know that, one, there is no regulatory body over the essential oil industry? There's no FDA. I'm American, so, right, there's no Food and Drug Administration. It doesn't fall under anyone's umbrella. And so that whole food brand is saying 100% pure essential oil, and the customer believes it. Okay. Now, on closer inspection, if you turn that whole food brand bottle over, it'll say do not ingest on the side with like a little poison face. And the average customer, they don't think to ask why 100% pure peppermint oil can't be taken internally. I mean, we drink peppermint tea, right? So why couldn't you take it internally? It's weird, right? But again, an uneducated consumer is just used to pulling something safe off of the shelf. So they buy it, even though it's very likely laced with synthetic chemicals, and those chemicals shouldn't be going anywhere near their bodies. And they think, oh, I just put it in my diffuser, right? Maybe you put a couple drops in a water diffuser and it spritzes all over the house, right? But now it's circulating in the air. And there's also no one there to tell them that because it's in the air, it's actually in their bloodstream in 20 seconds. And it's in every cell in their bodies in 20 minutes, right? You get what I mean? It requires education and training and community, right? If you have a product that requires those three things, then the network marketing model is incredible, right? I care. I get very passionate about this, that people know these things, right? I love it. I love this stuff. And I spend a lot of my time educating and making sure that people are making informed choices about their healthcare. So that's reason number one, right? It has a story to be told, or there needs to be training. The other piece why a company would choose this is because it empowers raving fans with finances. Okay, so in our case, most of our raving fans are moms. Okay, moms who love their kids, they want to raise them, they want to build an income on the side, or in my case, I want to retire my husband early so that he can experience, right, time and financial freedom earlier than he would on his career path, right?
Makes sense.
So if you had a choice, why would a company choose to spend millions in traditional advertising expenses, think radio or billboards or TV commercials, right? Or buy like key retail shelf space? No one buys products that are on the very top shelf or the very bottom shelf in Walmart, right? Those companies pay big bucks to have their products at eye level or hand level. Yeah, it's huge. Why would they choose to put their money there when they could give their money back to the people who love their products the most and reward them for doing the work of actually educating customers and bringing new customers on, right? It's a win-win-win. Here's the 3 wins. The company pays a loyal volunteer staff of salespeople. I am a volunteer. I could quit tomorrow. I could stop working. I could take the day off, right? So they pay us. We, as distributors, get to build a business on our own terms. I mean, here I am, I'm in my home, right? Building my business however I want to. And I don't have the hassle of product sourcing, IT issues, logistics, manufacturing, or HR, right? All the traditional things that when you start a business, Mike, you started businesses, right? You have to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to know everything, but not in a network marketing business. I want to tell you a little bit about what you do need to know in network marketing in a minute, but you know, and then the customer gets a dedicated support for life. So it really is a great model that way.
It sounds good. I mean, I think, you've been to some of our events. I've always appreciate your support in the community of what we do. And, a lot of our people are selling online, e-commerce sellers, Amazon sellers, import export traders. I just they always wonder, like, how would they, if they're selling online, can they still sell online, or does it have to be like referral based, or
with the network marketing business, you mean?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So
could they have people, could they build their own like distribution model like this? I mean, some brands, we have a lot of people that have their own brands on Amazon. I wonder if they could, take advantage of that as a doing all that hard work, like you said, the sourcing and the branding and the shipping.
Do you mean set up their own sort of affiliate program with what they're already doing, or lock into a structure that's already
or maybe
set
even
up.
look into it. I think a lot of them, they don't mind selling on Amazon. They're in the Amazon world. So they would, if there's something that existed, maybe that's another show. Sorry, I don't want to get off too topic, but yeah, I
No,
mean,
it's good. I mean, we won't go too far, but I know some companies say that you cannot sell on Amazon because then again, that is a
yeah,
retail model.
you said, yeah, they don't sell like on
Yeah.
traditional model.
And you can sell retail, but it's not that residual income that you're looking for. If you're really going to put time and effort into building a network marketing business, you're really looking for residual income that's
Yeah.
going to pay you long term, not that one-to-one retail stuff. It's just not, it's not worth your time if your mindset is looking for time and financial freedom.
Yeah. And like just the next question. So of course the network marketing is really for residual income, just like you're saying. So can you give us an example of how that would work or how that looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start, I guess, with the very basics of how people earn income through a network marketing business. Now, there's a bazillion different models out there, and they all have their perks and downsides. But at the very core, here's the philosophy, okay? So we earn a very small percentage of everything that our customers purchase forever. So let's use that Amazon example.
Sure.
Okay, so let's imagine that you recommend a book to a friend and they buy it, and Amazon, you have an affiliate link with Amazon, right? And if Amazon might give you a small cut of that purchase, which is great, right? Lots of people make some good money with affiliates. But then let's say that your friend falls in love with reading and buys one book a month for the rest of his life. Now, unless you have affiliate links for each one of those books and your friend keeps going back to your site to get those links,
true,
then you've lost the income, right? But not so in a good network marketing company, right? In a good company, once you introduce someone to the product, they're connected to you. And it's your job then to educate, foster connection, and ensure a really great customer service experience. And so if you help them fall in love with the product, your company will reward you financially with every purchase they make. It's already built into the system because they're a part of your organization. And this is a fabulous way to create residual income for yourself. Now, residual income is money or income that you're making while you're sleeping or while you're at the beach with your family, or even maybe while you're dealing with a family emergency. And the more customers that you get, the greater the residual income. And I love residual income. It has served my family so well. And maybe I could just tell a very quick story about just to illustrate the power of residual income.
Yes, please.
Okay, so just last December, one of my girls had an open heart surgery in Shanghai, and we knew it was coming, but then the timing of it was a little bit unexpected. But at the drop of a hat, I was able to just drop everything. And within a few days of actually getting her appointment booked, we were on the overnight train up to Shanghai.
Okay.
Now, I had no idea how long it was going to be, right? Doctors told us a minimum of 4 weeks away, and some babies are even admitted for like 6 to 8 months if complications arise. So everything was really up in the air.
Scary,
But through it all, like, I never had to ask leave from any boss, right? My incredible team leaders, they filled in all the gaps for me, and I was just really able to be present for everything that my babe needed. Now, the coolest thing is, and this is where residual income comes in, is we were there for 4 weeks, okay? And I imagine that I maybe put in, I don't know, a couple hours into my network marketing business that month total, okay?
Wow.
And I still earned my network marketing paycheck. In fact, I earned more than I had earned the month before because my team grew even while I was dealing with that. And then maybe the best part, and this is probably my favorite part of this sort of business, is I was just showered in love or by my partners and my customers who are all over the world, right? Because you really become family in this sort of business. And so this is the power of residual income and community.
Yeah, that does sound. Thanks for sharing the story. Stories are always the most powerful, and I assume your daughter's fine now. Just to hear it was. Well, It went all smooth.
It was a very successful surgery. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
thank you for asking.
Great to hear that. Next point is I'm looking here, is basically, how do we know it's legit or not? I feel, you know, scam is everywhere, like we've been talking about earlier. Like, what are some ways people should know that this is not something, some like red flags or some formula, or of course there's the gut. My gut's bigger now, but the gut. What are some ways people could figure out if it's good or not?
That's a really good question. Okay, so most network marketing companies, or some, I should say, actually create the business plan. Money is going to be generated, and then they find and develop the product to sell. Okay, so this creates some challenges. The main one being, going back to your point from before, this attracts business people first and foremost. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with making a business out of a product that you love, but when experiencing or when the experience, I would say, isn't as rewarding as these people hoped, right? Then they oftentimes just stop ordering the product altogether. And that means, as a business person, you not only lose a business partner, but you lose a customer as well. And so this creates what we call a leaky bucket, putting customers in, and then they're just leaking out the bottom, and it creates some very unstable income. And this is when you get some really jaded ex-network marketers in online and all that talking about how the opportunity just doesn't pan out, right? So to combat this, you want to look for a company that focuses on the product experience. Okay, so not hype, not big checks walking across the stage, or even maybe cars, right? Some companies give you cars. I mean, I suppose unless that's attractive to you, in which case go for it, right? But be sure you know how many customers versus distributors there are. And you want a very high customer base. Anti-network marketing websites and all that, they're really famous for saying, oh, only X amount of people, make any money with this. You want to know how many people try to make money with it, and then how many people succeed, right? Because if you have a company that's 80% customer base and only 20% try, well, that's awesome, because you have 80% of people who are going to continue to buy the product, whether or not they're earning any money with the company. And that is what creates a stable business. The other thing you want to look for is a company with a great track record, experienced leadership at the helm, and a compensation plan that really delivers what your income producing goals are. Okay, so you want to make sure you have a look at what's called the average time to rank. Okay, and this is the compensation plan, and make sure that you can invest that much time to get there. What I mean is, maybe you want to make $4,000 US a month residually. A compensation plan is going to tell you on average how many months that's going to take to get there. Make sure that you really want to invest that much time in order to do that.
Okay.
And this, again, to your point, the next one, Mike, is you want to find a consumable product. Okay, internet is not super consumable. And this is kind of where, not saying that the internet was a scam, but this is where scams really come into play. And I'll give you an example. Let's say that I sell you a pencil for $1, Mike, and you take that pencil and you sell it to your wife for $1.50, okay? And you keep the 50 cents as profit. But then Wendy goes and takes that same pencil and she sells it for $2 and she keeps her little profit, but it's the same pencil. That doesn't work. It's a scam, and people get in trouble for that sort of thing. So you need a product that a consumer is buying and actually consuming. It could be food, could be shakes, could be makeup, essential oils like my company, right? As long as it's being consumed and they're getting results, then they're apt to buy more. So that's a really great place to start, looking for a consumable product. And then finally, you really want it to be a unique product, right? You should aim to provide kind of an unmatched level of customer service paired with a unique product that they just can't get anywhere else except for their customer back office, we would call it. And that's associated with you and your business.
All right. Just to put it out there, I hope it's okay to ask, but do they normally have an upfront fee, like a sign up fee, or are there ones that, I don't know if, I think some people get turned off when you got to pay a fee to be a partner. I mean, maybe I know there's usually a
Yeah.
reason for that, or is that normal? Or what do you think of upfront fees for joining? Is that normal with it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, okay, so let's go a little bit further here. Like, this business model is not for everyone, right? So just like everyone shouldn't become an Amazon seller or open a
Sure.
franchise or own a Starbucks, right? Being your own business owner isn't for everyone. So the first question that you can ask yourself is exactly that. Do you love the product, right? So of course, if you're going to have a business opportunity with a company, you have to try the product. So really, that investment fee up front should be your products that you're consuming, so
Okay.
you can really see if you're in love with the product, right? This is key. You need to
That
become a
makes sense.
product of the product
Yeah, that
so
makes
that you can sell from a 100% genuine standpoint. Now, most companies, they will actually have a quota that you have to personally be ordering each month to qualify to earn compensation. And this is really smart, right? It would be really bad for the industry and really bad for each individual company to have a bunch of distributors running around selling a product that they don't use,
Yeah,
right?
I
Or
agree.
know personally. So that's really the very first thing. Even when I bring on a new partner, I say, okay, slow down. We got to make sure you love this product first,
Okay.
right? Because it's really critical that people, are using these on a daily basis. So to go back to your question, I think some companies might have a fee. I know my company does not. You're just buying your product. If there is, sales quotas each month and that's not your jam, that doesn't motivate you, you might want to look for a different company. So just be a little bit more savvy in how you're identifying a company that you want to work with.
Okay, that sounds great. Yeah, I mean, just back to mine, it was just my bad experience. That was 2000, early 2000s, no, 90s. And yeah, nobody was actually using the product or service. Everybody was just, seems like they were just trying to focus getting more distributors to sell it. And then, yeah, I mean, I tried to actually use the service and I couldn't figure it out. And my rep that I was under didn't really even know how to explain to me. Just says, just get more people, more distributors under you, and then they made money off of that $400 fee. So if you got more $400 people under you, you would make a percent of that 400. And then,
Ah,
so I think that's a huge red flag. That company went out of business, but
yeah,
uh, I won't say the name, just
I know.
stole anyway. But let's go back to your
There you go.
questions here. But like you said, it's not for everybody. And maybe talk about who it is for, or the strengths or the time needed for this.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the first question is, do you love the product? Okay, can you genuinely sell it? If you weren't making any money from it, would you still buy? Okay, that's huge. So you need to choose the right product. The second question is, are you self-motivated? Okay, so listen, some people don't know what to do with themselves when they don't have a boss. And I totally get that, because it took me a while to get my own act together when I quit corporate, right, to step into my own CEO role. You really do need self-motivation to get going and then to stay going, right? Good network marketing opportunities are marathons. They're not sprints. You might have some sprints within your marathon, but you really need to give it a good 5 or 10 years to build the foundation that's going to keep producing residual income for you. And so if you can follow a system, every network marketing company has their own system, their own training system, and get things done, you might thrive. If not, maybe you want to keep your day job if that feels a little bit more comfortable for you.
Yeah.
Going back to, go ahead.
No. I'm just keep going.
Okay. So going back to that 5 to 10 year kind of mindset thing, there's a lot of ways to earn residual income. And I'm a really active member of the FI community, which stands for Financial Independence. And if you want more information on that, you can check it out at choosefi.com. Fabulous people, fabulous community. But basically, the tenets are earning as much as you can, saving at least 50% of everything you make, and putting that into investments that you're going to eventually be living off of retirement, right? So this is retirement at whatever age you can manage to make that happen. So I actually believe that a network marketing business can seriously accelerate people to their FI number. And I'll give you an example, okay? So the average monthly needs of a retiree in the US, okay, is $4,500 US dollars. So if you were going to go the traditional route, okay, and let's say pull 5% from a retirement account, you would need a whopping $1,080,000 in that account in order to pull that $4,500 out each month. So how long does it take the average person to accumulate that amount of money, right? Or is it even average? Is it even possible for the average person to put away over $1 million? I believe it's so. I believe it is, and I believe everyone should try for it. But let's look at pairing that with a network marketing opportunity and see if the numbers, if we can accelerate that timeline a little bit. In my business, it takes an average of 27 months to make $4,500 residually. Okay, so 27 months of work, intentional work, probably 20 to 30 hours a week of work, right? And for 27 months to start to earn that. Now, I know people who have done it in 6 months, right? So going back to your point, Mike, of how it's skill level and intensity and how much time you can really put to it really does matter. So if you look at it this way, there's a real opportunity here for people to supplement and even replace their income in a shorter amount of time. So the question that I ask people is, how do you want to spend your time, and how much time do you want to invest, right? Do you want to try to accumulate that $1 million over the next 20 to 40 years, right? Or could you consider spending just 2 years of your time, right, working in the pockets of your life to build an organization that is going to pay you that on a residual basis? Most people, they don't just quit what they're doing cold turkey and build this thing. Like, most people do it in the pockets of their life, nights, weekends, lunch breaks, early mornings, until they've gotten enough income coming in where they can shed some hours off of their regular work. So I like to think about that example because I think it helps people get kind of wrap their brain around on the power of network marketing as a residual income strategy. But you have to be self-motivated. Going back to that, self-motivated.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, just like selling on Amazon or e-commerce or any business, you have to be self-motivated. You have to work. You have to be patient. Yeah, you have to try, different strategies. And I totally agree. I mean, I would be really scared if, the get rich quick, like there's people with all the hype, I think that's what really gives MLM the bad name. The hotel seminars with the people on the stage with the car and the big checks and the cheering and, I mean, I'm sure that happens and that's good. It feels good, but there should be more like it doesn't happen right away. If they sell, I think there's some of these bad people in the industry that oversell the dream, sell the dream. Same with Amazon courses or dropship courses or any of these same things with the e-commerce world or online world. There's these people that sell the dream, not the actual product or the actual hard work that you need to do.
There's some serious work to be done, right? Like, you're not going to get paid $1 million a year if you're not working for it, right? And so the other two things that you really want to be looking for in this industry altogether is, do you care about people, right? At the end of the day, we're in the people business. Corporate, whatever corporate is, they deal with all the logistics and the IT, like we said before. What we do is we help, we recruit, we train, we support, we love, we mentor, right? Does that interest you? If you love people, it might be a great outlet to serve. If not, then definitely this business is probably not for you. And then finally, personally, do you want to grow, right? Do you want to surround yourself with people who are constantly trying to get better and to really strive for the best versions of themselves? We like to say that building a network marketing company is like the greatest personal and professional development plan with just an epic compensation plan attached. And you can only earn up to the level of the person, the level of the human being that you are. And so the question is, do you want to develop yourself into something greater? And if so, this might be a good fit for you as well. So those 4 questions, I would say, do you love the product? Are you self-motivated? Do you care about people? And do you want to grow? If you answered yes, 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 yes to all 4 of those, then I think you've got a real shot.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's talk about, everybody likes to blame the company or blame the program, but, I think also the people to look at, nobody likes to say it was their fault. They didn't put in time. They might not have been the right fit, whether that's in MLM, network marketing, or whether that's in drop shipping or Amazon. So, people call it a scam, but a lot of times maybe they didn't put the effort in. What do you think about that?
I think you're absolutely right. A lot of people, especially in my business, a lot of people start as product users, right? They just love the product. And then all of a sudden they're so in love with it that they find themselves naturally sharing. And then they start to earn some money. And then they go, wait a minute, like that was easier than I thought. Like this is really fun. And then they grow into a sharer, right? They want to share the products, but then they're like, maybe there is something here. And so it's kind of a natural evolution that happens, right? But there is a moment, and I love watching it in the people that I work with, where they really realize that this is a company and it's your company, right? You are the CEO. And if you can hobby it, right? And you can go to work when you feel like going to work, right? Or you can just share when you want to share. You can have a call when you want to have a call and hobby it, and it's going to pay you like a hobby, right? Or you can learn how to become a professional and it's going to pay you like a real business, like you are the CEO. And here's the best part. I could, let's say I am a chiropractor and I own my own chiropractic practice, right? When I go to work, I'm still only paid per client that I see, right? Per patient that I see. And I really don't have time or financial freedom in that. I can only earn 100% of one person's efforts. That's my own, right? But in network marketing, you earn, let's say, 1% of 100 people's efforts. Which one's going to be more, right? Obviously, the 1% of 100 people's efforts. And that 100 people could become 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 50,000 people. It could be, hundreds of thousands of people. And so if you're in it long enough and you learn how to become a professional, just like anything else, it's going to pay you like a business. And it's really as simple as that. And the best companies out there, they recognize this and they actually pay greater and greater as one advances through the ranks, because it weeds out the get-rich-quick schemers. A lot of times, as people, we're weary of the get-rich-quick companies, right? The schemes. But as someone who's doing this as a profession, I get weary when someone comes and they have a get-rich-quick mentality, because they'll cut corners, right? They won't do it right. They won't take the time to foster their connections. And before you know it, Mike, they're gone. They're totally gone.
Agreed. It's true. Well, these companies come up because people are searching on Google. They're searching, even before the internet. They're looking for people are lazy. A lot of people are lazy. They look for these, and then they want to get scammed because they don't want to put in the work. So I'm curious too, and I think others listening. I think we're getting towards the end of this amazing session. Thanks for really sharing. I'm curious, like what is your program? What are you working on? What's the opportunity? Maybe we could hear some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am building my essential oil business from China, which is great. As an aside, network marketing is also a fabulous opportunity for expats, right? Because you can literally work from anywhere where there's Wi-Fi. My family and I just went on vacation over we had a long holiday, as you know. And I was just literally sitting on my balcony at a beach resort answering some emails. I'm like, man, this is incredible, right? An incredible opportunity. So I guess currently what I'm looking for is 2 partners, right, who would also like to learn how to educate people on the power of essential oils. So someone who is, I guess, naturally minded, right, likes natural things, maybe has a little bit of business experience or some entrepreneurial spirit in there, and really is a go-getter, right, like is independent and wants an opportunity. So I guess if any of your listeners are listening and they're intrigued to learn more, then I would love to have a chat. And on the other side, if maybe you're working through some health issues and you're super into holistic living, or you're just curious, right, and you want to give some natural solutions a go, then I'd also love to connect and see how I can help.
Okay, great. And then Lisa, last, of course, the websites, or however people could connect with you, social or web or anything you prefer.
Yeah. So if you're in China, my WeChat is just Alymona, ALYMONA, and then the same for alymona.com. You can connect there, and I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Positively Alymona.
Awesome, Positively. That's great. Yeah, highly recommend Allie. You guys should reach out. She's just really got the most genuine person I know. So really, thank you for that.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for your time and your listening ear. And I love hearing your stories.
Yeah, I try to have
from bad experiences.
I try to throw some fun. I try to, make fun of myself, as listeners know.
Dial-up internet, man. Dial-up internet. I love it.